See if I did it correctly. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the beauty, Mike, in it with Farming Sim. You can play it your own way, how you like. Everyone has their own way of playing. Well, most games, really. I've always liked the helper thing because, like, a farmer, especially if you're sort of successful as successful can be as a farmer, you have people that work for you anyway. That's a bit of realism. It's just a shame it's not like cattle and crops. With cattle and crops, you can actually click on the map to tell your worker to go to that spot on the map, and they go there. Maybe they'll bring that out in 22. I don't know. Maybe it's a secret little thing that they... Well, mind you, I haven't kept up with what's going on, to be honest. Just so I can find out myself when I get it and play it for the first time, so I can be pleasantly surprised. Or disappointed. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, I did watch gameplay of the Vineyards Harvester. And a lot of people are probably going to have to struggle with that one. You have to get the Harvester over the top of the sticks, you know, the support grapevines. But they do have their own collisions, so you can get hung up on it if you steer off path.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that's one for the GPS then?
Yeah, that or people that want to, you know, take it very steady and maneuver around. And it turns out how was it, the deer they teased in the teaser trailer? It was like
Isn't
a doe just in a forest.
Deer?
No, it was an actual doe, like four-legged out.
Oh, an animal. You mean the animal? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, teaser trailer had one like poking his head out of a forest, so they're going to act like what the crows do currently. They just kind of run around randomly.
Well, actually, yeah, I heard that they're not adding deer as a part of the game as animals, but people were wondering if actually the deer was actually a static deer or a deer that actually moved around. Whether deer are going to come out of the bush or not, or it was just a static deer that was standing there and always going to be there, which would be a bit sad.
Yeah, it does move around, which, I mean, back when the FS19 trailer, you know, had the horses running along the hilltops, so it's maybe not so majestically, but that sort of idea. They're just going to pop out of the bush and be spooked by your tractor and run off, so no free venison.
Too bad Cattle and Crops is dead, Dave. It's not really dead, it's just changed names and been sold. It's now Professional Farmer, isn't it? I played that for a little bit, I just couldn't get into it, personally.
Wasn't that the one where you had to water your plants as well?
No, I don't know, to be honest. I didn't get that far into it. Like I said, I just couldn't get myself into that game whatsoever.
It looked way too cartoony for my taste, if I remember that correctly.
All I know is the gameplay, what you could do was better than Farming Sim. I know that. Yeah, I saw bits and pieces and stuff like that, but for me, I'm the same because it's the graphics that I didn't like. The vehicles look like what I usually call the Lego plastic look. Where these ones don't look so shiny and so plasticky. The thing about this game is it doesn't look polished, and that's what I like. The ground doesn't look polished, the vehicles don't look polished, the landscape doesn't look polished. Just like in real life, you know? That's what I think I love about this game. One of the things I really love about this game is it's not like some other farming games when you get your vehicles and they just look like they're made out of plastic. The same plastic they used to make Lego with. Too shiny.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think some of the early Gran Turismos had that problem. It's like someone covered a car with like wax and cling film.
That's why I never liked that either. The same reason. It's exactly what I mean. I just don't like that type of graphic for some reason. I just like the unpolished look. Especially when it comes to vehicles, you know. It's not so glossy, this thing. Even the gloss is not that glossy.
Must be like a uncanny valley of reflections. So yeah, you overdo it, and it's like, oh, that just looks weird.
It's officially dead. So the people that bought it have canned it as well. Farmers Dynasty? No. What do you mean by Farmers Dynasty? I wasn't talking about Farmers Dynasty. I like the look of that.
Dynasty is that's a complete different game.
Yeah. I mean, I like the look of that game. I wouldn't mind playing that game. The graphics went plastically, but no, Cattle and Crops and the other farming games, there was Professional Farming, there was another one or something else like that, but yeah.
Wasn't there Farm Manager or something? Yeah, that's completely different, right?
That's completely different. No, there was another farming game and they both didn't do well. Farming Sim just outdid them by miles. So they stopped making them. They made them twice, I think, and both of them, and they just... One had where you could start in different countries and have different crops.
Oh! Yeah.
And the other one, I wasn't sure what that was about.
Wasn't that... I thought that was Cattle and Crops. The way you could start in different countries.
No.
Oh, alright.
Not the same way as this.
Okay. Patrio, TGKL 76, JJ 88, fertilizer.
Let's see how well I get off this onto the road from here, because I did this manually. I didn't drive this when I did the course. Looking good.
Getting a headache.
Oh yeah? Go have some water, mate.
Just doing that, yeah.
Let's see if the course is correct for this. Oh, okay. And the devs have been moved to other have they? Because weren't the devs mostly modders, farming some modders? Oh, the guy that did, I'm pretty sure the guy Whoopster, wasn't it? He was one of them. He was the one that did the GPS in FS17 and 15. Oh, I might have to explain the reason for this course going along to the right here. Because there's not enough room to get through the gate. That gate opens out into the road. So you can basically get into the field one way, but if you come up the way I just went, you can't get into the field because that gate goes over the road. So I've done that on some of them that are really difficult to get to. I did all this today before the stream, all around here. Officially an employee. I thought he was one of the guys that started it, because I thought Cattle and Crops was started by a few modders from FS, from Farming Sim, top modders, and that was the reason why we had a new DPS by a different guy this time around, and a couple other modders as well, mods that we had and we didn't get. And I thought that's how they started. That was, I'm pretty sure that's what people were saying at the beginning. And they got kicks, went on Kickstarter and stuff. Well, that's a good little feature they've added, Patrio. Yeah, got here fine. It's always good to know that your courses are done correctly-ish. Oh, is this an up and down? This is an up and down. I can change that now to 45 degrees. And reset the thing. Yeah. Actually, that GPS by Webster is the reason why I use this GPS mod, because it has the same shortcut keys. And shortcut keys that are easier to remember and use than guidance steering mod. Even though that's more realistic, setting the A and B things, which apparently is a realistic thing when it comes to farming and setting your GPS in a tractor, from what I heard from people in the farming know, as in farmers, or work on farms, like Mr. Feet Guy, who was here before. I thought that was thunder I heard. But there was something coming from your side there, Smedo.
Yeah, that was a road train driving past.
So have we got anything else on the contracting side of things that needs to be done apart from fertilising?
Sadly, other than that, only transporting. I'm now getting only more fertilizing in, but I get a fertilizing contract for 12,000 euros. Pounds.
Oh, nice.
Yep, field 92, that's gonna be your next job. Yeah, Patrio is just now doing the last planting job. After that, I'm only getting fertilizing in.
Yeah, I mean,
that is the drawback of having not over 200 fields, and of half of the 100 we have here are grass.
well, it's not really a drawback, because I was just about to say we should have expected it because we got the same thing because of seasons with the other one.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. We had only fertilizing, but we had a crap ton of fertilizing jobs.
Yeah, constantly.
And they paid almost no money because they were on all tiny fields.
Actually, that reminds me, I'll check that when I do the next run because I can put the cruise control on. Let me just check something first. Is it that one? Oh yeah, I have hard economy. I was about to say we're almost into summer, but I forgot.
We are on 9-day seasons now.
Yes, for those who haven't been in this one yet, but used to watch the other map, we've changed it to 9-day seasons instead of 6-day seasons because we've got our own farms now, and that just gives us a bit of time to spend a couple of days sorting our own farms out if we need to, especially because me and Smedo do have crop that we've planted, and we get to help each other out harvesting all that kind of stuff, and we've got our animals, which we do in the morning anyway. But it just gives us the opportunity to have a bit more time to do it. And of course, obviously, when we get more vehicles and we're able to get course pay to do all the jobs, actually, there's no reason why we can't get course pay to do all the jobs anyway on those days. We can still make money. So, I mean, we could have probably stuck with 6-day seasons and got course pay to do all the contracting jobs. Or we're sorting our stuff out. But, yeah, 9-day seasons, why not? We'll see how it goes. We can always change that at the end of the year. It's a new map, so it's a new way of finding out what works, what doesn't work, and how we're going to do things. And I believe I've actually finished this one. So 92.
Yeah, the big one we plowed last time. Or the time before that, I don't remember.
Didn't I come in this over there? That's where I came in. Oh, I missed the spot. Not anymore. Let's say it's done. Now, from here, field 92, 92, yes.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
Let's see how well I've done this. Can I get it to 92 from here? So yeah, no, it's good I can actually check all the auto drive courses that I've done so far. I didn't realise I've done so many. I think I've done most of the south. I've just got a little bit more to do south of the border. And then I've got to do the north side later. But just to find out, oh, this will be interesting. This is the one that I wasn't sure about, doing this with the harvester. Why are you slowing down? Have I given you too much options for you to try and figure out? I have. I've got one here that's not completed for some reason. Yeah, it's a very, very narrow lane. Very, very, very narrow up here with, well, a little further up there. Alright, so I've got to remember to come back there and delete some of that course. Because there's one that goes nowhere apparently. But I remembered I really struggled getting the harvester around that corner. Because if I do it with a harvester, then I know something that big can get around a corner, everything else should be alright. I mean, we do have the potato harvester, but then again, the potato harvester's got better steering too, so I can turn a lot quicker. And there's field 92, got there no problems at all. Alright, so how much for this one?
Over 12.
Oh, I'm retiring early.
You ain't retiring at all, dude.
Hey?
You ain't retiring at all.
And come on, the amount of money I'm making off this one.
Oh, I'm like a wheel repair shop and they retire every day.
Bada boom. Oh. Well done, Patrio. Patrio's now taken the mantle.
Great place to put all my pieces.
The king of the dad joke. It's a sad day for fathers if you get outdone by someone who isn't one. Actually, probably going up and down would be my better option, wouldn't it? Because, is it... oh yeah, it is up and down. Alright, because it's the longest. Actually, Smoother, you might want to check your fields for weeds and that and organise a bit of a dusting, a bit of a coating of anti-weedness on your fields.
No weeds at all.
Well, ain't you lucky? Mine got weeds.
Shall I return to the boo?
Yeah, you'll have to switch implements. Well, and machines, you're driving the Zirion, right?
To my chagrin, but yes.
What? Don't you like the Zirion?
It's JJ's, not mine.
No, it's ours. Man, it's our tractors. That one. And I would completely understand if you didn't want to get out of it. I'm not going to accept it, but I understand it.
Frickin' hell, I've got a wasp problem.
Not anymore, Mike. I dealt with it. I weeded, put herbicide on it today while I was doing my auto drive courses. I thought I'd get it out of the way. While no one was looking and no one knew. Well, that just went down the toilet, didn't it? Because I just told you.
No, I did one field herbicide. I did for the first stream when I was planting.
Yeah, hang on a second, mate. Wait 1 second. Boo by oh God, goodness me. Blueberry. Well, I keep thinking of blueberry, and it's not that. Anyway, hello, welcome to the stream. Sorry, butchering your name up. I'm sure my brain will eventually kick in at some stage in the next 20 years. But what's on the other two screens? It's the other two players that are on here with me. If that's what you meant, unless you're talking about something specific that's on their screen, like the course play thing. Oh, okay, yeah. So we got Mr. Smeeter up the top. Yes, sorry, dude. And down the bottom is Patrio. Yeah, for some reason I go to say your name, but my brain's just going, nah, blueberry. And it's not. So, who am I to argue with my brain?
Blue birdie.
It's Burby, isn't it? Blue Burby.
Yeah.
1. Isn't that right? Hopefully.
Oh, that's a funny accent like Burraby.
There you go, yeah. Well, I'm trying to relate it to, trying to think of an English town name that has that at the end of it.
Glastonbury.
Oh, well, there we go.
There's even a festival there.
Yeah, and actually it's, yeah, produced. Like the Chevy Suburban. Okay, I have no idea what that is. Well, it's a car, obviously it's Chevy, but I don't know what it looks like and stuff like that. Because we don't have Chevys here. Oh, we do, we just have a better version known as the Holden.
It's even funny because the Chevy Suburban actually is available in Australia.
Oh,
it's
is it?
basically a dual cab wagon, so it's same idea as a Land Cruiser, but longer.
Okay. Well, maybe we do have it here. Ooh, I have no idea.
But when you're saying blueberry, I was thinking, oh, like Boo Berries and Count Chocula cereals.
No idea. It's an Australian thing, I suppose.
I think it's actually American.
Okay. No, they don't. Unfortunately. Very unfortunately. Yeah. So you won't be getting that, or maybe they'll steal that shape because they were making your Monaros, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For the last 6-7 years.
Not as long. I think it was just for the 2003, 2004 was the Monaro shipped to America as the Pontiac GTO.
That's it, yeah, Pontiac GTO.
The 2010 VE went across as the Pontiac G8. So the Yanks got the essential success. Also the Capri, because they use that for the police cars. The extended wheelbase means they could put the safety barrier in to hold off the rear seat.
Oh, Capris. I never liked the Capris. Just like the Tirana. Those two I just don't like. The Capri and the Tirana, I never understood those two cars, to be honest. One's a Ford for those in America. One's a Ford, it's a Ford Capri, and then you had the Holden Tirana.
Yeah, when I say Capri, I mean the Holden Caprice.
Oh, Caprice. Okay, yeah, well, the Holden Caprice. I wondered why you went from Holden to Ford.
But no, it's actually funny because I remember ages back they did a mock-up of a modern day Tirana, which was like a VE but smaller, and I was like, I think they'll end up making that into the Chevy or Holden Cruise sedan, and I just said if they made that rear-wheel drive, I'll be on that. But no, they had to make it front-wheel drive.
Blueberry1, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Glad to have you here.
And now that I'm ready to pay attention to Smudo, what was I doing next, sorry?
Yeah, you'll be doing a bit of fertilizing. Field 37.
Roger that, I'll just file this thing away.
File it away under. Yeah.
And I left the shuttle turned on for you, Smudo, JJ.
Under T for tucked away.
I'll just leave it in car bay 81N. Actually, that was the other one that made me wonder. A lot of the demonstrated tractors in the FS22 gameplay had license plates, but some of them just seem to be like manufacturer labels, like, you know, tractor model name here, and a couple others were just random, and I'm like, is that customizable, or is it just default to each tractor? Because if they had custom number plates, that would be nice.
What's this with?
FS22.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they do, because you had the mods in 15 and 17 and 19 where you get number plates customised. Oh, apparently they had the Chevy is, which was just like Holden Commodore.
Yeah, as I said, they used it for the police cars.
Yeah. Well, you got the Commodore, you got the Caprice, you got the Senator, you got the Club Sport, which was my favourite looking one of the Holdens. What else was there?
Statesman was your luxury version.
Statesman,
and then you
yeah.
had the Grange, which is the HSV enhanced Statesman.
But the saddest thing about that whole No More Holden is there's no more Holden versus Ford Bathurst.
Yeah, now it's going to be, I think next year's Bathurst is going to be the Mustang versus the Camaro.
Is it?
Yeah, so I mean, when they started using the Mustang, because obviously I think Ford also stopped doing the Falcon. The last one was the FGX, which actually was a pretty good car, you know, itself, four-wheel drive sedan. Chasing after the Subaru/Kia Stinger's heels. Yeah, so they brought out the Mustang and everyone was crying foul because it's a smaller, lighter body. And then, yeah, obviously, Team General Motors is coming back with the Camaro, so I guess that's the way it is.
Everyone? Or do you mean Holden fans crying foul?
Well, even the GM team's probably jumping up and down going, we've got four-door sedans, how come they get to run two doors?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we've basically, I was actually thinking about running through for people that are new here what's going on. We're on a new map. We've been doing this for a bit now. We've got to set ourselves a bit of a challenge. We've got a backstory where the three of us used to work together and decided we'd try a hand at farming. So we left the city, got a loan. The bank would only give us 300,000 euros because we originally lived in Poland and that was where our first map was based. And all we could do was buy a farmhouse and a pickup, and that's all we had the money for. So we decided we'll do contracts to save up money. Plus, because we were city slickers, we would be able to learn the trade of farming that way. And then we just decided we were making quite a bit of money that we'll just build a big contracting business. So our goal is to try and make get a huge fleet and be able to do a whole year's worth of contracts without working ourselves. It's we've got Courseplay and we've got Autodrive, so we're going to hire employees, which is Courseplay and Autodrive, and they can get to do all their work. Now, we had to swap maps because that other one had a bit of an issue with the field boundaries, so Courseplay wouldn't work right. So we're on this one, and now we also got our own farms as well. So we get to work on our own farms while building our contracting business up to try and get a huge fleet going and stuff like that. So at the moment, we do our animals in the morning. We've got some crops and stuff, so we'll end up doing our crops and everything else like that. And we'll send our workers off to do the jobs during then. And as we get more equipment and we can use Courseplay to do it, we're going to take turns working on our own farms, building our own farms up, while one of us alternates and taking care of all the workers at our contracting business. Oh yeah, well I added the backstory because I have an excuse of every time I do a mistake, I can just blame it on the fact I was a city slicker. Where's my next contract, Mr. Smudolini, who's the manager of bringing in, finding us money, while I'm the manager of spending it. I'm the finance manager.
61, sir.
61, yeah. So that's basically what we're doing. So we moved to this map last week. Had a couple of issues. I'm still trying to do all the auto drive courses. Ones I have done, I'm testing out today. Just every time I go to a field, I'm using auto drive to make sure it will get there and everything's fine. I've still got to finish off the rest of the fields, so yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how big we can grow, how many vehicles we can have, how many tools we can have, and how much money we can make with that actually turning up at work, getting our workers to do it. Yeah, the map, yeah, when it rains, yeah, it has a rainbow.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
It's the other side of it. There's the rainbow.
Wolves fly.
Yeah, so then there's plenty of fields on this. The other map we're on was a 2 times one, but it had over 200 fields. It was one of the best maps I've been on the FS19. I'll tell you that right now. I absolutely loved that map. I thought it was really well done. It had such a realistic rural feeling to it. And when you use seasons, it had a beautiful frost texture that you got at early autumn or fall, late fall, autumn, and early spring, and it just covered all the grass, it covered all the trees and even lily pads, and the lily pads had a different coloured white texture than the grass on the trees. It was actually really, really nice and really well put together, but like I said, the problem is because there weren't square fields and stuff, and doing field definition and Giants Editor is not easy to do. When it comes to odd shaped fields, when it comes to a square or rectangular shaped field, it's easy. But when you go sort of odd shaped fields, it comes a bit difficult. And that map had the fields really close to each other, so the boundaries would overlap and Courseplay would count one. There's another feature of this map: when it rains, the river rises, places get flooded. So Courseplay would pick up 3 or 4 fields as one field, so we couldn't get out to the end of our goal on that map, so hence the reason why we're on this one, because it's Oxygen David, and you pretty much, even though they're not square fields, he's got a lot of experience obviously with using GE and doing the field definition, so you know you're going to be okay when it comes to Courseplay. So there's other features too, like I mean, we try to keep it realistic. I think we sort of slackened off a bit. That was the original idea, to keep it realistic as possible. But there's a couple of things that we won't do that's for realism. One is autoload trailers, because I just don't like the physics with the use of the bale forks and everything, forklifts or whatever in this game. It just irritates me, having used it in real life. So what we do to compensate for that is every time we use the autoload trailer to pick up like bales off a field, we charge ourselves 50, will be pounds now because we're in England, £50 per field it's used. Like we sort of hired someone to put it on the trailer for us. Another thing is we use super strength to take the bales off and put them into the shop, because in real life a shop will be the one that would own all the tools to take that off, not you. And in this game, if you want to use it, you got to buy it, and then you get charged for it at the end of the night, and then you got to repair it. And that to me isn't realistic. So we use the super strength just for that purpose, to represent the fact that we're using, or the shop is using its tools or implement or vehicle to unload the trailer.